In the beginning of the war, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy formed an alliance called the Triple Alliance. Germany began to make alliances in Europe. They became friends with neighboring countries, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. These actions caused France to feel threatened and fear that Germany was becoming too large and spreading out across Europe. France then decided to join together with Russia and Great Britain, encircling Germany and its allied forces. This alliance was known as the Triple Entente. There was now two large alliances in Europe, the Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente. As all of these alliances were built up, the public began feeling nationalistic. They took pride in their country and had a very boastful attitude towards it. Serbia, for example, was very nationalistic as they wanted to establish a stronger Serbia. Them and much of the Balkans were considered a powder keg as they were waiting for the right moment to become stronger. One of the greater examples of nationalism was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. He was assassinated by a nationalistic Serb during his visit to Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. He was visiting there with his wife to remind Bosnia and Herzegovina who their leader was and that they were the boss. This assassination was the first real act of war, and some say it started World War I. Propaganda was one of the main reasons that men signed up for the war. Propaganda is an object, usually a poster, that persuades people into doing something. It usually is very positive looking. Many countries in Europe would recruit men into their army this way. Fighting in the war looked very enticing, and it seemed that there would be no worry for the men who signed up. Most of the propaganda to have men join the war was a poster or advertisement on a product. On top of the nationalistic attitude, propaganda only added to the persuasion of joining the war, as these posters made you feel compelled to fight for your country. This poster here shows a hat for the German military. Germany is trying to say that anyone can join as the army hat fits most people. They wouldn't want to have any negativity on their posters because it would turn people away. Posters like this were commonly displayed all over towns in Europe, even outside of Germany. Most of the propaganda stretched the truth as countries tried to make it as convincing as possible to join the war. They never really displayed what the war was actually like because it would have been very negative. Who would want to see a sign saying, "Sign up for the war," with soldiers in the living conditions they suffered through? This is what the war actually looked like and the things soldiers went through every day. And this is what the war was advertised as, happy as if no fighting was done. As we saw in the movie, All Quiet on the Western Front, many soldiers who enlisted were very surprised to see what the war had actually been like. Some soldiers broke after seeing the conditions they would have to suffer through. Many realized what they had signed up for was nothing as they had expected it would be. This was the negative side to propaganda, as it could be very misleading to the public, causing mixed opinions on the war. Many people began to feel negative towards the war because it was lasting longer than it was expected to, and they were unhappy fighting it. As you can see, propaganda had a positive and negative effect on World War I. It was positive for the fact that it allowed countries to easily recruit young soldiers to fight for their armies, but it was also negative because the posters were very misleading and created a lot of negativity for the war.